Welcome to the Introduction to BOS lesson. The aim of this lesson is to introduce you to the battle space operating systems. You'll examine the concepts of fighting power and professional mastery, as well as the 7 BOS and their key capabilities. As a commander, it's important to have a thorough understanding of all of the BOS capabilities so that you can develop appropriate courses of action when deriving your tactical plans. Generally speaking, battle groups are task organised by a formation headquarters and given a tactical task to execute. Battle groups generally fight in a combined arms team setting, whilst formations generally fight by synchronising the BOS. It needs to be pointed out from the start that the number of BOS and their names are likely to change as quickly as any other piece of Australian Army doctrine. This is not so important because you'll soon see that understanding the BOS is all about understanding your own capabilities that are inherent in your equipment and force structures. Before we used the term BOS, we articulated the physical component of fighting power through the arms and services. This was effective but at times limited. For example, discussing the capabilities of engineers as a core in the counter-mobility role would invariably need to include other corps such as infantry and artillery, which can also contribute to this function. So you can now see the mobility and survivability BOS includes several corps and so on. The intellectual and moral components of fighting power represent the human dimension of war fighting. They are concerned with how individuals and groups apply their non-material resources such as intellect, emotions, motivation, and leadership to fight and win. The capacity to apply these resources is a critically important element in the human dimension of war fighting. It's what enables individuals and teams to succeed in a complex and chaotic battle space characterized by danger, uncertainty, and friction. It's the physical component of fighting power that's represented by the BOS, and this will be discussed in more detail shortly. The BOS elements are the building blocks of Army's capability. Each BOS is the combination of elements of capability grouped into functional areas suitable for use within the battle space. In addition, the BOS represent the major functions performed during land force operations throughout the battle space. They're completely interdependent, with no one system being more important than the other. They're the systems used by land force commanders to generate fighting power, and it's through the BOS that we synchronize effects in the battle space. The C2 BOS includes all systems and personnel involved in exercising authority and direction over assigned or attached forces. The C2 BOS includes those capabilities which allow us to plan, direct, and control action within the battle space. The units and systems that could be included in this BOS are the headquarters and their staff,
the FIR team,
any specialist advisors, The C2 systems, both physical and electronic, communication systems, staff procedures and SOPs. Note that the C2 BOS also includes information operations functions. Information operations, or I/O, was once a BOS in its own right. Information operations includes the systems and personnel that develop, manage and employ information and predictive intelligence to support friendly decision-making while affecting adversary decision-making and information flows. The ISR BOS provides the capability with which the commander will collect and analyse information on factors that impinge on orientation, such as the enemy, terrain and environment. The ISR BOS includes those capabilities that collect and analyse information, such as intelligence gathering, reconnaissance and surveillance using visual, oral, electronic, photographic or other means. The Manoeuvre BOS provides the means of concentrating sufficient force at the decisive point to achieve surprise, psychological shock, momentum and moral dominance. It's the employment of fire and movement to achieve an advantage over the enemy. Manoeuvre BOS effects are enhanced through the synchronization of manoeuvre with the other BOS. The three characteristics of Manoeuvre BOS forces are firepower, mobility and protection. The offensive support BOS includes the capabilities which destroy, neutralise or suppress ground or maritime targets. It incorporates all of the indirect fire capabilities and their acquisition systems. Mobility and survivability BOS includes those capabilities which maintain freedom of movement and protection for the force while restricting the mobility of the enemy. The AD BOS provides the capabilities with which other BOS will be protected from effective attack by hostile aircraft and missile systems after they are airborne. In doing so, they prevent the enemy interfering with the conduct of land operations from the air, thereby enhancing a commander's freedom of combat manoeuvre. The CSS BOS includes those capabilities which sustain forces by ensuring that troops receive the right quantity and type of supply at the right place at the right time. This BOS also enhances capability through repair and maintenance of equipment and evacuation and treatment of personnel casualties. You've just completed the Introduction to BOS lesson. This lesson identified some of the key capabilities available in each of the 7 BOS and showed you how fighting power and the BOS combine with the elements of capability to produce appropriate physical outcomes. When planning operations, you need to have the professional mastery and the ability to combine all BOS elements into a total battle space effect that breaks your enemy's cohesion and will to fight. Tactical plans are options to synchronize the BOS effects to achieve the shattering of enemy cohesion and will to fight. The MAP is the tool to develop these options and enables the commander to decide the best course of action to implement.